In the 2 weeks since the US Grand Prix, more IRA prisoners had joined the hunger strike in the Maids prison in Belfast. British motorcycling champion and occasional F1 driver Mike Hailwood had been killed in a car crash at age 40. Tom Baker made his final appearance as the Doctor after 7 years, and bitter political divisions in the UK between left and right saw the launch of a new party, the SDP, which promised to take a more centrist line. And on the day of the Grand Prix, the first ever London Marathon was held, which resulted in a dead heat. The Grand Prix circus, meanwhile, made its way south to Brazil. The Jacarepagua circuit in Rio de Janeiro had been finished in 1977 and used for the 1978 Brazilian Grand Prix, but since then the race had moved back to Interlagos. However, safety concerns with the inadequate barriers, bumpy surface and deep ditches and embankments, not to mention the team's discomfort at such conspicuous wealth among the favelas of Sao Paulo, had led to the race returning to Rio, the hometown of Nelson Piquet, to the delight of his legion of fans. Tyrrell rented car number 4 to well-heeled Argentine Ricardo Zunino for the 2 South American Grand Prix. Zunino came from a farming family and only began racing at the age of 25. He initially made his name in sports car racing, winning the National Touring Car Championships and winning sponsorship from the Argentine Automobile Association to go to Europe at the grand old age of 28. During his third season of European Formula 2 in 1979, Ricardo briefly tested for the Brabham F1 team, and in September of that year happened to be in Canada as a spectator when Niki Lauda dramatically walked out of the team, and Bernie Ecclestone offered Zunino the seat as he had at least sat in the car. He didn't do well at such short notice, but was retained for the last race of the year a week later at Watkins Glen, where he qualified 9th and was offered the seat full-time for 1980. However, his performances slipped during the first half of the season, and he was replaced with Hector Ribaki. Because the Rio circuit hadn't been used for a couple of years, an extra familiarisation session was held, during which the splendidly named Colombian Ricardo Londoño Bridge drove the ensign after buying his way into the cash-strapped team. But his decent performance was irrelevant. He was denied a super licence on the grounds that his lower-tier results were insufficient. The real reason was that much of his financial backing came from Pablo Escobar and the Medellin drug cartel. Ensign kept the money, but Mark Sierra got his seat back. Londoño would go on to become one of the cartel's leading supplier of vehicles and acquire the nickname Blade before being killed in a gang hit in 2009. He does, however, have the distinction of being the first Colombian driver entered in a race weekend, however briefly. Jean-Pierre Jabouille was a more welcome face, returning to the Ligier garage, but still in pain for his legs, handed the car back to Jarier for the weekend. Lotus once again brought their new 88 car in an unsuccessful attempt to get it approved for the race, as well as a pair of 81s which were used in the race itself. Qualifying got underway amid rumours that the Brabham team had a new suspension system that lowered the car onto the track while moving, but maintained the mandatory 6cm clearance when stationary. But no other teams protested, so hometown hero Piquet was able to take a popular pole position. The Williams twins once again lined up second, Reutemann, and third, Jones, on the grid, with Riccardo Patrese impressive again in fourth, then Prost and Giacomelli fifth and sixth. Renault had been disappointing in Long Beach, but were looking better here. Making up the top 10 were Villeneuve's Ferrari, Arnoux' second Renault, Andretti's second Alfa, and De Angelis' Lotus 81. The McLarens were once again well off the pace in 15th, Watson, and 20th, De Cesaris, and looking forward to their new car, still not quite ready. Siegfried Stohr would make his Formula 1 debut in 21st, with Zunino's Tyrrell 24th and last. Missing the cut this time were both March cars, with Derek Daly not having even set a time, both Azellas and Jan Lammer's ATS. It rained on Sunday morning, and while the rain had more or less stopped by race time, the track was still pretty wet, and most cars opted to start on wet tyres. Piquet took a risk on slicks, as did Didier Pironi and Siegfried Stohr. Villeneuve got away to a flying start from 7th place, but unfortunately Prost got away badly from 5th immediately in front of him. Villeneuve lifted and was hit from behind by Andretti, who slewed sideways into the pit wall in retirement, collecting Arnoux and Serra on the way, while the Ferrari was damaged but able to continue. At the front, Piquet also got away badly on his slick tyres and dropped back as Reutemann took the lead, with Patrese nipping past Jones to go second, though he didn't keep the place long as the reigning champion got past before the end of the lap. Already quite a gap had built up between these three and 4th place Giacomelli, and soon the Williams pair started to disappear into the mist. De Angelis got ahead of Giacomelli to take 4th, and when the Alfa spun off a few laps later, the Fittipaldi of Keke Rosberg was promoted to an unfamiliar 5th place, which was soon taken by a charging John Watson in the McLaren, then Jarier's Ligier. The order stayed the same until lap 29, when Jarier went wide and dropped behind an impressive Marc Surer and his own teammate Lafitte. It began to rain again. Didier Pironi aquaplaned into Prost while being lapped on lap 19. John Watson had a spin on lap 35 and Surer was up to 5th before overtaking De Angelis' Lotus for 4th place on lap 49, a remarkable run in an unfancied car. Jarier overtook Lafitte for 5th place, only to give it back again under team orders a few laps later, and all attention now turned to the leading Williams drivers. Once again, Reutemann led Jones, but the Australian was the reigning world champion and team leader, and the expectation was that Reutemann would be ordered to move over. The pit boards went out doing just that, but Reutemann didn't budge. He must be waiting till the last moment to make a point, said everyone, but no. The Argentinian driver took the checkered flag, to Jones's fury. Crazy finished an excellent 3rd, and Marc Surer took an equally excellent 4th, ahead of Elio De Angelis' Lotus and Jacques Lafitte's Ligier 6th. Teammate and stand-in driver Jean-Pierre Jarier denied a point by team orders. Watson was 8th a lap down, ahead of Rosberg, Tambay and Mansell. Nelson Piquet finished a distant 12th, 2 laps down, and the last classified finisher was Ricardo Zunino, 5 laps down. As the drivers walked out onto the podium, it was quickly apparent that someone was missing: Alan Jones. Reutemann and Patrese enjoyed the occasion, but trouble was clearly brewing in the otherwise dominant Williams camp.